morning, guys. Thank you for joining me as we hop into verse 2 today of the song Nothing Else. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. And I hope that you guys are able to just be blessed by this time that we spend together. I'm sorry when I come with my agenda. I'm sorry when I forgot that you're enough. Take me back to where we started. I opened up my heart to you. I'm sorry when I've come with my agenda. I'm sorry when I forgot that you're enough. Take me back to where we started. I opened up my heart to you. I'm sorry when I've come with my agenda. I'm sorry when I forgot that you're enough. Take me back to where we started. I opened up my heart to you. Yesterday, as we walked through the verse 1, I just shared with you guys that the chorus of this song, which is what the writer chose to start out with, allows us to prepare our hearts to be humble and come before the Lord with humility and say, I'm sorry for just being in that posture of just repentance and confession and laying those things so that we can receive and not be afraid and not allow the enemy to have a way to tell us that we're not deserving of something. I think that is a tension there to manage. Is sometimes we don't want to be over. We don't want to just assume that the Lord is just going to do things and give things for us, though it's true. But in our human nature, sometimes I think it could cause us to feel privileged in a sense. But then we also don't want to allow ourselves to just be so down about the mistakes that we've made and how we've done things. Owning our mistakes before the Lord is very important. But the enemy can also use that to speak worthlessness into us and to distract us from being able to just really know that the Lord accepts us just as we are. He loves us and He wants us. And He also knows we're going to be full of mistakes and make mistakes, but it's the growth and it's the heart of repentance and it's the willingness to say, hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong with the way I've carried myself, the things I've said, the lack of time I've spent with you, the lack of honoring you, Lord, that I even give you. Today I wanted to share a verse with you guys and really just to compare what I think in this moment from this point on for myself and maybe for you guys throughout this song or really just in life is something we can be mindful of. And so what I'm sharing with you guys is typically known as the Lord's Prayer. But it says here in verse 9, it says, and he prayed this is what Jesus prayed. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. I'm going to stop there because it's really the part that I want us to process and chew on. Give us this day our daily bread. When I think about what the Lord does for us and how He is the bread of life, that's the place where daily bread sometimes can be very it can be used in ways that it really, I don't think biblically is what the Lord was intending for us to gravitate to there. But for me, and especially with this song, and what I want to just encourage us with today is that as we press in and we get lost into being in the Lord's presence, a way that we can really do that on a daily basis is just praying to the Lord. All I need today is you. In the way that you want to reveal yourself to me, in the way that you will fill me up, in the way that you will flow through me so that everything that I do and everything that I touch, it is of you. We are what we eat, I believe. And so if we're not allowing ourselves to be filled with Jesus daily, then when we find a moment where there is tension, who do you think is going to come out? If Frank is feeling Frank up, Frank's going to come out when Frank's in a tension-filled moment. Whether it's a good tension or a bad tension, Frank is going to come out. And that's the place where I think this prayer is really saying, God, give me today my daily bread, my bread of life with this, which is Jesus. Give me Jesus here today. And as I am feasting on that, and that is nourishing me, it is nourishing my soul, my mind, my heart, every lick of adversity I walk into, I will approach it filled, coming from a place of fulfillment, and in a way to approach it the way Christ would, the way that would allow me to not serve in a sense where I'm feeding off of frustration and hurt. I'm worn out. I'm tired. All these things that typically can make us react in a negative way. As the song says, I'm sorry for coming with my own agenda. I wanted to use this prayer as an example because I think that's really where it starts. And sometimes when we find ourselves praying, the Lord wants us to pray with and pray to him and give him things and be open and transparent. But I think it's very important for us to not be so checklist prayer with what I need now, and I need you to just provide this, okay? Because I think if we get into that place, we can miss being in his presence. Prayer, I believe, is sometimes just being silent and listening and it's a conversation. And if you have the issue like I have, you talk a lot, then it's hard to have a conversation, because having a conversation means there should be someone conversing back with you. That's what our prayer life should be like. In the presence of the Lord, sometimes being still and silent can speak volumes than you audibly or mentally praying a prayer and just filling in that space that you've allotted for yourself to pray. The other discipline that comes with that is you can't go back to where you started with your prayer life if you never started one. And so my encouragement would be is if you haven't developed or ever had a prayer life, a relationship where you really just stopped things and spent time and with prayer and the Lord's presence before him, I would encourage you to do that. I know personally the thing that has carried me in a lot of situations has been the fact that I truly now understand that God is with me at all times, and if I acknowledge that, his presence, then I can walk through some hard conversations and situations, or be respectful be rejuvenated energy, you name it. It allows me to have something to rely on. But I also understand the fact that when you pray through something or you're praying about something, it can be very uncomfortable and awkward to ask someone for something that you don't have a healthy relationship with, to confess something to someone that you don't have a healthy relationship with, to actually say thank you to someone who you don't have a healthy relationship with. And I think that's a tension that sometimes the enemy allows us or we allow the enemy to use against us, because we feel so distanced from the Lord because we haven't had that prayer relationship and that prayer life, that when we do go to him, whether it's good or bad, it's this weird, awkward, how do I do this? And the Lord is like, I don't need you to figure out how to do it. I just need you to do it, and together we'll figure it out. We'll figure out what this is like. So today I just want to encourage us to do that. Let today be the day, the first day, or the continuation, if it's something you've already been doing, where we go before the Lord and we don't ask for anything other than just Jesus. Let that be our prayer. Lord, however you want to fill me up as my daily bread, because I can definitely see that having you dwelling within me throughout my day can carry me, can guide me on decisions, can comfort me if I'm in a season of feeling alone and needing to be comforted. The Lord is the perfect snack that can be the greatest meal depending on whatever season of life that you are walking in. And if your prayer life is something that you're like, man, I probably really need to grow on that, then let this be a way we do that. Every morning, let's find time as we finish our moment together. May you just stop in 30 seconds. Just take some time to develop a conversation with the Lord that allows you to be able to get to that point to do exactly what this song said, if you're needing to just apologize and not feel awkward, to confess and not feel awkward, to thank him, to celebrate. Just build that conversation and that relationship between you and the Lord, so that you can find yourself acknowledging his presence, and it feels so rewarding and fulfilling and life-giving as it was designed to. God, I thank you so much that we get to just come to you right now. I pray, Lord, that as we go throughout our day, may we be able to pause and still ourselves before you. Or even in the moments with the hustle and bustle, may you give us the energy, the strength, and the joy to know that you are with us, to carry us. Every tension-filled moment today that the enemy wants to seep in, I pray, Lord, that you already go before and you block that out. Let today be the day that we see you in everything we do and everything we touch. May you fill us up and feed us, God. Feed us like only you can. And I'm sorry when I've come with my agenda. I'm sorry when I forgot that you're enough. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. Lord, I'm sorry when I've come with my agenda. I'm sorry when I forgot that you're enough. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. I pray that you guys have a blessed day. Feed on the Lord as much as you can, and I will see you guys here tomorrow morning.